Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last lesson, we got our add product and edit category buttons up. We got our boilerplate stuff done for the products. And what we're going to work on in this one is making it so that we can edit categories, all right? So when we click on a category, we have the option of adding a product to that category, editing a product in that category, or editing the category itself. So if we click here, we are passing to it the category that we are going to edit into this variable right here. Okay, so what's the difference and how are we going to set things up for when we are editing a category versus adding a new category? Well, first thing is when we load the add edit category, we want to populate the name and the image. So what we can do here is if we are editing category to edit will not be nil, okay? So we can say if let category is equal to category to edit, we can say name text dot text. We're going to set the text field equal to the category that we are editing dot name, and then we're going to set the image to the category's image. So we're going to say if let URL is equal to, we create a URL resource from the category's image URL string, and then we say category image dot content mode. So we need to change the content mode back to .scale aspect fill, and then say category image dot using Kingfisher kf dot set image with URL. Oh, that should be a lowercase URL. And then another thing that I want to do is let's change the title of the button when we're editing to, instead of saying add category, we'll say save changes, all right? So to do that, we're going to need an outlet for our button. So I'm going to open up our storyboard in the assistant editor, and I'm going to go ahead and actually, you know what? I'm going to show you how we can just do this by typing. Not sure if we've done this yet. So instead of doing the whole control drag and having to open up something in the assistant editor, sometimes I find it's quicker to just type it out, in which case we say IB outlet, weak, var, and then you give it the name. In this case, we're going to say add button of type UI button, and just like that. And then when we go into a main.storyboard and we select our view controller, if you right click, you can see we have a new outlet add button. So I'm going to click on that, and now that outlet is connected. All right, so going back to our add edit category VC, we now have our add button outlet, and we can change the title by saying add button dot set title, and our title is going to be now save changes for control state dot normal. All right, so let's just check that out so far. We're going to run this. All right, so let's click on landscapes, click on edit category. Ooh, and there we go. We are populating the category name, the image, and saying save changes instead. Now, if I click on this, it's not going to update this category. It's going to create a duplicate document in Firestore with this same information. So the next thing that we need to do to actually make it update the category is change here in the upload document where it is saving the new document to. Right now, our document reference is creating a new document. What we need to do is do a check to see if we're editing, and if we're editing, then our document reference needs to be pointing at the same document that was previously created. And so to do that, we can say if let category is equal to category to edit. So in this case, we are editing, else new category. So if it's a new category, we can just do what we have done in the previous lesson. So I'll just cut this and paste it here. But if we are editing, our document reference, docref, should equal to firestore.collection categories. But instead of a new document, we are going to point it at the existing category document using the category.id. So now we're going to be updating the existing category document instead of creating a new one. And then we also need to set the category. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a problem here because I have category here and then category here. Let's go ahead and rename this one to category to edit, in which case this will be category to edit and this will be the same. All right, so then this here is now this category. So category.id is equal to category to edit.id. All right, so just to go through that one more time, if we are editing a category, our document reference needs to point at the existing document by its ID. If we're creating a new category, then we just use this document reference right here, which creates a new one. I'm going to save that, and that should be all we need to do. Let's go ahead and test this out. I'm going to run it. And one thing to mention is that if the category name stays the same and we just change the image, it'll just overwrite the existing image file in cloud storage. All right, so let's go to landscapes. Let's edit this category and say landscape photography or something, and say done, and then save changes. And if all went according to plan, when we come back here, we should see, yep, landscape photography. Awesome. So now we have the capability of creating new categories as well as editing categories. So that is pretty cool. The next step is to create our add edit product view controller, which we will be working on in the next one, and I will see you there.